Hey, welcome to episode 14. On today's episode, we talk about those Golden State Warriors. What? World champions this year, 2022. How petty Steph Curry is. And does that work for your business? We've got $1 million equation lesson and something that you can do right now to move your business forward. And then, of course, my message, Devin. Stay tuned. We'll be right with you.
Welcome to the $1 Million Equation Podcast, a podcast about the easiest, fastest way to build $1 million business based on the best-selling book, The $1 Million Equation. If you love business, each episode reveals all of the core fundamental essentials for growth. Now, here's your host, Richelle Shaw.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back. So fun. Every day is so fun. What about the basketball finals, the NBA finals? Like, y'all know I am a crazy sports fan. Earlier today, I was making a reference about a sales guy, and I said, who used to be on our team, and I'm like, he reminds me of James Harden, right? And the guy I was talking to was like, what? No, James is a beast. I go, but think about it. I go, James is not always a beast. Like he turns it on, he turns it off, he turns it on, he turns it off. Like he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Like, and when he doesn't, he cries like a baby. Like, who cares about, right? Like, no. We don't want, we want like petty Steph Curry, right? That when you say something bad to him, he goes, hold my beer. Right? He turns around, he shoots from half court, right? Oh, you dunked on me? Okay, hold on. Oh, keep going, because I'm gonna stop right here at half court. And then he turns around as it goes in the freaking basket, right? Petty Steph Curry. So I love petty Steph Curry, right? So what makes Steph Curry petty? First of all, when you do things like that to him, he comes after you. He shoots from crazy odd places. He goes down with one arm just to show you that, look, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. Even when he has a bad game, goes 0 for 9, right? I'm still betting on Steph. Because he is, at the end of the day, the number one 3-point shooter, even though y'all know I went to high school with the former, right? With Reggie Miller, who is one of the best 3-point shooters ever. I've got to find that picture of we were at a high school tournament, and he used to wear black wristbands, right? He still wears them, or you can, when he played, he still wore them. And so in high school, he wore them. That's where he started. And so after the game, he would take them off and throw them to me in the stands, right? Because I was petty. Like, I was that cheerleader that people hated, right? Like, I got thrown out of a game, and my uncle was the coach. My uncle was the coach of our rival school, and I got thrown out of the game. I know, because I am super competitive, and I'm Steph Curry petty. Right? And so I said many things that were really mean, because I had no filter. But back to the story with Reggie throwing me the armbands. So the local paper took a photo of him throwing it to me in the stands. And so at UCLA, because that's the only reason why I went to UCLA, right, is following him. He signed those for me, so I had them. I think I threw them away, when I got mad at him. Who knew he'd be a Hall of Famer, right? Who knew he'd be a Hall of Famer? What was I thinking? I could have made some money. Profitable, petty Richelle could have made some money from it. I need to do a tell-all that tells all the crazy things that went on with him and his family and his sister and his brother. His brother works with my mother. Lots of juicy stuff. But, I'm a nice person. I'm petty, but I ain't that petty. So let's get back to Steph Curry and his pettiness, and what business lessons can you learn from the pettiness, right? Is that you always need to have a person or an entity that is your enemy that you use in your marketing, so that it's y'all against them. Yes. So I was talking with a private client a couple of weeks ago. She came out for a VIP day. And while we were sitting there, I was looking at her content and I'm like, so who's your enemy? Right? Like, who do you watch their content and go, what are they talking about? Right. And so she told me instantly who it was. And I'm like, so how come you're not directing your content, like totally contradicting what she is saying, right? And telling like what the truth is, right? So there's lots of people. Like the other day, I shared a post of uh, in 2011, I think it was. I went to the library because y'all know I'm a reader and I love to read books on entrepreneurship. So it was like startup. Here's how you start your business, right? I always read the table of contents before I buy it. So I turned to the table of contents and it said, come up with an amazing product. And then it said, find your audience. And I'm like, oh my God. I closed the book. I left it back on the counter. What? First of all, that's not how you start. Like, it's the other way around. Find your audience and then create the product or the solution once you've solved the problem, right? One GS, one great solution. That's how you do it. So when I talk about content, I talk about those things that people think that they know, but is not really what they know, right? So when you are a professor teaching entrepreneurship, that's how you think the order is. Now, don't get me wrong. When I wrote the $1 Million Equation in 2012, I had already built a telephone company, right? I had already built it. I'd already rebuilt it back. I had already lost it. I'd rebuilt it. I sold it. Like I bought 3 other businesses. I had helped 3 other people build $1 million businesses by the time I wrote the $1 Million Equation. Yes. And some things are out of order, which is why I rewrote, and that's coming out at the end of this year, the $1 Million Equation, right? Because when I went back to read it, to implement it in the order that it does, I said, ooh, well, that's not in order. Well, that's not what you do in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is all about creating your marketing calendar, right? But that marketing calendar, you don't know what to put on it at chapter 3. You don't know it until after you finish chapter 9. So really that should be the last chapter, right? But that's because I'm an implementer and I didn't know it while I was doing it. So back to Steph Curry, right? You want to have a piece of pettiness in your business, in your content, so that you can draw the line in the sand and create your rabid fans who are Team Richelle, not Team College Professor teaching entrepreneurship, right? Who are Team Richelle, entrepreneur for 30 years, only had one job, right? Who understands how to build businesses. So you want to know who is the enemy. And Steph Curry used all of his enemies, all of the fans, right? All of the Boston Celtics fans who talked crazy about his wife, who said she couldn't cook, who did all of those things, and used that to propel his team to the championship. That's what you want to do. You want to use all of that fodder, even if you have to create a fictitious enemy. I don't care what it is, but you need something that keeps you moving and keeps you moving to the end. If you talk to any professional athletes, I'm cured from them, by the way. I'm cured. I don't do professional athletes. But what I found is that they all have something that fuels them. Sometimes it's petty, right? Sometimes it's not, but you need to have something that fuels you, that makes you, helps you ready to win. So, yeah. So put down who you're against and who has a totally different philosophy of how things should be, right? If you've got a small company, then I'd be like your biggest competitor. They would be, oh no, yes, I'd be going after them. You don't have to say their name, but you can definitely go after them. You can structure your content around fighting them, right? And getting people on your team so that now they will always purchase from you instead of your competitor. All right. Hey, we'll be right back with your $1 million equation lesson and your assignment for this week. All right. I'll see you in just a second.
Hey, 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 MDE Nation. Have you grabbed the original, the OG book, the book that started it all? The book, The $1 Million Equation. That was my original passion project where everybody kept asking me, Richelle, tell me how you rebuilt back your $1 million business. How in the world did you come back from losing it all? How in the world did you do it? And I sat and I spent 2 weeks and I wrote the $1 Million Equation. So it sounds exactly how I talk. If you put my voice to it while you're reading it, you will feel the essence of me. But you will also learn some really great, valuable lessons on how to build your own $1 million business. Yep, you can grab it right there on Amazon.
Hey, y'all. It's time for your $1 Million Equation lesson this week. Something that you can implement right now in your business that's going to move you closer to that 7-figure level. Okay, here's your lesson this week. And it is all about creating a business that you want. So I'm always shocked, right, when people ask me to come and consult. And I get to their business and I'm like, so what's the challenge? And they go, well, I don't like doing that. Or I don't like this customer. Or, gosh, I'm just looking for easier, better way. So has it always been like that? Oh yeah, since the beginning. Like I've always hated writing for other people. Then why did you create a business around it? Why did you create a business around it? Because they started the business from the wrong mindset, right? They started it from, I just want to go and make money, instead of, I want to make sure that I am solving a big ass problem, right? I want to make sure that I'm solving a problem in the area. So those Me Too jobs, those jobs or those businesses that are just like somebody else, or you worked for the company and you think that they're making so much money, so you decide to go on your own and try to steal some of their customers. Yeah, my friend from elementary school did that and then got sued. Like that's not ethical. Like that's not what you do. You want to start with who can you serve, and then design the business around what you like. How often you like to work, what days, the mornings. Like I get people who ask me all the time, hey, I'm going to do a webinar. What time should I do it? Well, what time do you want to do it? Well, no, what time are most of the people going to be there? And well, that doesn't matter. No time is going to be perfect for everybody. No time is going to be perfect for everybody. So what do you want? I'm shocked at all these people who haven't figured out what they want in their life, let alone what they want in their business, right? It's like, well, why? Look, entrepreneurship is the most amazing place to be. But it's the hardest thing to do. It's hard. It's hard. And everybody who's telling you it's easy is lying to you. And if you go out and it's easy at first, trust me, it's going to get hard because something made it easy for that moment. Yes? Something made it easy for that moment. Sometimes, so for example, had a client who during the pandemic created a brand new business that was teaching medical billing, right? So people were at home during the pandemic. So she posted a couple of posts. She got people who were sharing it. She started with a free medical terminology. And then she got 10 people to buy her $2,500 program. She made $25,000 during the pandemic. And was like, yeah, I like that. I want to do that again. Okay. So guess what she did? She started medical terminology. She started posting it again. They were sharing it. And the second time she got 6 people. The third time she got 4. Still, she made 50 grand, right? It wasn't, but she didn't have a system of how to get a customer. So now that people are back to work, she can keep sharing all she wants, but nobody's buying it. Nobody's coming. Nobody's doing it because they were doing it before because, right, everybody was sitting at home on the internet. And they were like, ooh, yeah, maybe I do need to find a new job, because that is in the beginning of the pandemic. Well, the medical people are working, so I never have to worry about getting laid off again, unemployment. Yeah, this would be a great industry to go into. Okay? Right? It was a culmination and a connections of two things happening at the same time, which changed the game and made it easy at that time. But easy does not stay forever. Does not stay forever. The posting and praying does not work. That's not a system. Right? That's not a system to attract people to you every single day, and you make the decision on, do you want to serve them or not, because you're solving a big problem, right? Okay. So what type of business do you really want? How long is it? How much do you really want to make? So I'll ask people all the time, well, how much do you really want to make? Right? And so one client the other day said, I want the biggest in this particular industry that they have. I said, really? She's like, yes. You know, but people who don't know what running a multi-million-dollar company looks like, what the support looks like. You know, I took home more money when I was making $800,000 than when I was making $33 million. What your payroll is when it's $500,000 every 2 weeks. Right? I saw a news report where all these people want to work for Tyler Perry because he said his payroll was $156 million. Well, did you ask him how many people he's paying? Because he may not be paying more than other folks. So why do you want to work for him and it's 156? Like, the logic doesn't make sense. But one of the things about this entrepreneurship that 1% of the world, right, does what we do. And with it, some get bullied into it, some get sucked into it, some just kind of show up in it, right? But I'm always for, if this is what you want, then why not design it the way you want it to be, right? So as I was describing what this big business looked like to her, yeah, I said, is this what you want? Because we need to build it from the beginning up so it can support that. Because that first corporate contract that you get is going to require that you have a staff of about 20. So where are we finding the 20 people? You need to set up your payroll. You need to set up all of your tax entities. You need to be able to, have your reserves in there. So we probably should apply for some lines of credit. You know, what does your personal credit look like? Like, all of those things come into factor. She's shocked. Oh, I can't just build it and get one client and two clients. And one. Okay, well, if it's just you serving one client, that's fine. But you're not going to go get a corporate client that requires 20. Right? Remember, I've said it probably in this podcast now 20 times. Who you say yes to determines who you say no to, right? And if you say yes to everybody and say no to no one, then you're going to end up with the lowest tier. So if you say no to those smaller ones and you only say yes to the bigger ones, then you need to build it that way. Like I think people who have never built a business always believe that I can build it with this little thing and then I'll reinvest. First of all, that's not what normal people do. Because as soon as you get to a certain level, you start to, wow, $30,000 a month. That's kind of fun. You start taking vacation because you've earned it. Right? And you start buying things and investing in things. Now you need to sustain this 30, but in order to get to 100,000 a month, you need to make some big investments, and now you don't have the capital to do that. Like, there's a lot to it. So my suggestion is always think about how big do you want this business? And if you truly want a big one, then consult with some folks. Right? I would love to help. And figure out like how do you build it and how do you build it correctly. But it does not like build organically. At some point you have to make a huge leap. So for example, in the phone company business, I had gotten to a certain level in that me buying traffic from the big three, right? AT&T, Sprint, it was MCI at the time. Woo, that's dated me. That then turned into WorldCom, that's now T-Mobile. If I'm going to buy from them, then my expenses were so much that there was no way for me to actually make money. So I came to an impasse, right? And I had to make a decision. Do I sell the company? Do I invest $6 million in my own switch so that now I have the ability to have the lines come through my own switch so that I could save those 3 cents a minute, and that could go to my bottom line. So that type of investment is a true capital, right, investment, and it was going to take a lot of my cash, and then the debt servicing to that. Like I wasn't going to make any money for like 3 years again. Okay. Like I could cash flow it, but I wasn't going to be able to take out large chunks to put into my retirement. Or do I keep going the way I go and just cash flow it and take out just some that I can, right? This is what happens. There's an impasse at every business when you get ready to build bigger than where you are. So make sure you understand what type of business you really want to build. Okay? So then you'll know it. So your MDE assignment for this week, right, is look at your existing business. And is that the business that you want? Is it the size that you want? Is that how you want to grow? Or are you okay? And what happens when you want to 10 times it? What do you need to do to 10 times it to get it to where you want it to be? And if that's not what you want, then what is that you want? And let's design that together, right? Let's design it together. So that is your assignment for this week. Hey, I've got a really fun message to Devin in 2 minutes. So I'll see you back here in just a second.
Hey, MDE Nation, I have some openings to work with me and my team on building your own $1 million business. Or if you already have the $1 million business, you want to add another 2 or 10. Hey, let's spend some time together. The easiest, fastest way is to make sure it's a good fit is to go check out my free training, how to add another $1 million to your business this year, right? You can go grab it for free by going to www.627figures.com. The number 6, number 7, figures.com. You will see the 3 easiest things you can do in your business right now to get to the $1 million faster, and see kind of how my brain works and how we actually work with our private clients. I'm excited to help you add that extra $1 million to your bottom line. Let's have some fun.
Hey, it's your girl Richelle. I'm back with my message to Devin, to my she is the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole life. She's the only person in this world that made me slow down, that made me stop, that made me actually take a look at the world and go, ooh, okay, things are a little different, right? So I'm excited about what we got going on, me and Dev. It is summertime, so we have been on the road every single week since she got out of school. You know, and when before she went to school, it was really awesome. because then we could pick up and go. And so we would go to different places in the middle of the week. Right? So we'd go Tuesday through Thursday and then come home and not have the crowd. So now I'm annoyed when I have to wait for the school thing. I'm annoyed by that, right? I'm like, oh, I have to wait till she's out of school here. We're just going to take you out of school. And so my kid is so crazy. She tells people, well, my mommy knows it anyway. So she's a better teacher than anybody else. I love her. So today's message to Devin is this. My kid is super afraid of insects. Okay. So when she was, oh my gosh, 2 or 3, some kids are fascinated. She was nuts when there would be a fly that came around. She would be like, ah! So now at 16, you know what she does when there's a fly? Yeah, same thing. Oh my gosh, there's a fly. There is a fly. So we don't go on vacations to like exotic places. Like there's no out in the wilderness type of stuff. No, because that's not her thing. She does not like insects. And so one of the things that her father said to her when she was little is he's like, never be scared of something that's smaller than you. Just step on it. Just hit it. Like if there was a little tiniest spider in her room, and I think she cried for like 3 hours. Please, will you come get it? I'm like, hit it with a shoe. So then I go in her room the other day, and there's all these marks on the wall. I'm like, what the hell is that? She's like, well, there was a spider, and I threw my shoe at it. All over the walls. It's like, what? So, life can be scary. And you get to choose what makes you scared or afraid. And there's absolutely never a reason to be afraid of something that you're bigger than. And here's the true lesson, is that, my darling Debbie, you are bigger than your thoughts. You are bigger than what's going to happen, because you never know until it is. You are bigger than whatever fear that you have. You're bigger than it. It's just like those flies. It's like they can't hurt you. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, they can bother you a little bit. They can just fly. They can fly in your face. But they're not going to bite you. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid of anything. So make sure that you always look at it as, look, I'm bigger than it. My faith is bigger than it, than any fear I can ever have. My feet are bigger than that lizard that's coming running at me. Right? You are bigger than anything. And because of that, you never, ever, ever have to be afraid. All right, y'all. I love you for free. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for tweeting, for commenting, for subscribing, for doing all of those things. I can't just even tell you like how wild I think it is that y'all want to hear what I have to say. It's like, what? This has been so much fun. Way more fun than I thought it would be. And, I probably did 100 podcasts before I decided to do my own. People have been asking me for years, and I'm like, who wants to listen just to me all the time? So, will you do me a favor and give me a rating? Go to the website and leave a comment and tell me if you love it. And if you don't, tell me that too. Shit. Tell me I need to change some stuff. I may not, because I'm the baddest chick on the planet. But I may just change it, right? I may just, this is just my love letter to all entrepreneurs that hey, somebody believes in you, somebody wants you to be better, and I just want y'all to benefit from all of the shit I did wrong and make sure that you don't have to do it wrong anymore. All right. I love you for free. It is my honor to serve, and I'll see you next week. See you later. Bye.